Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Amplifying Voices, a podcast series by Smart Speech Learning and Development Center where life stories are celebrated and potentials are uncovered. I'm your host, Saidi Bigdas. In today's episode, we will discover another inspiring stories from a group of exemplary individuals. They will provide us with a glimpse into the world of early childhood educators by sharing their valuable experiences and sharp insights in preparation for their authentic experiences in the field. Let us uncover their diverse stories of excellence in the field. Tune in to our inspiring episode with the theme Inspiring Minds, Shaping Lives, promoting early childhood education excellence in collaboration with PUCE Early Childhood Educators. Our esteemed guests today are first to fourth year students of the Early Childhood Department. They were selected to represent their grade level to bring us closer to the multifaceted roles of early childhood educators. Please help me welcome the dear excellent students of ECE Department. So welcome to the esteemed students of ECE department. We are so honored to have you here in your response to the call of empowering individuals. And I think the Orange community is so overwhelmed kasi napakarami tayo ngayon. So siguro nakikita nila sa previous episode, dalawa lang kami during podcast episode. So ngayon we are very excited to know more about you. So let us start with a short introduction of your name and maybe your creative introduction of yourself from Miss Julaica, since nandito naman siya sa malapit.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. I'm back. So I'm Julaica Solomon Makoya. I'm the representative from 4th year slash senior. Mga ate kami dito. So hello po.
Hi po, I am Katrina po, Katrina Biton, but I am co-teacher cat by my students and I'm also a senior po.
Hello po, I'm Mona Linibron po. You can just call me Mona. And same po, classmate kami, 4th year, senior. Pag-graduate na.
Greetings everyone. I'm Shiha Marizi Roda, a representative for first year.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. My name is Luis Margaret C. Crizaldo, a representative for the second year student of Vicente.
Hi, my name is Abigail D. Alba. I am a 4th year BESED student. I am a sport enthusiast and pageant enthusiast as well.
Hello po, I'm Ronaldin Kapanga from BESED G po.
Hi everyone, my name is Micaela Imperial and I'm also from Bicol University, 3rd year student, early childhood teacher.
Nice meeting you all, dear students or aspiring educators from ECE department. So to know more to know more about you, we prepared this sample trivia questions. So you have the privilege, the opportunity, the blessing to draw from this stack of cards and to answer a particular or a simple question, just to have a glimpse of ano kaya yung katangian ng isang early childhood educator or aspiring early childhood educator, na na-manifest nyo. So, who wants to draw first? Thank you, teacher. Can you read for us the question?
What is your most used emoji? I think, yung pinaka-used kong emoji is yung parang nagka-cry na tears of joy. I love it. And yung pink heart. Yan pa.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Julaica. I think it's part of your personality kasi napaka-vibrant mo. And is it because of the love for teaching that's why you have this happy tears? Okay, that is nice to know. How about the others? Do you want to share?
ako po yung naka-happy face po kasi kitang-kita naman po sa personality ko na napaka-jolly ko po, lalo na po pag harap yung mga kids po.
Thank you so much, Miss Ronaldine. How about the others po? Siguro lahat naman tayo happy lalo pag sa kids kasi we have to share or spread the positive energy among them. So ngayon po, let's have the second.
What's a skill you learned when you were young that you still use today? Probably, of course, I don't know if it's a skill or an attribute na lang. It's being kind. So, gamit na gamit pa rin. Yes, of course, we're handling children. So, we must model positive attitude, positive behaviors, and that starts with, aside from being respectful, is being kind. So, yun po.
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Kat. How about the others po?
Maybe for me, it's the having the motherly instinct. Actually, sa block po namin, since we only have 8 students, including me, for second year, 8 lang po kami. I actually am the mother of the 7 students. And actually, it is very much helpful for me as a BSED student na magkaroon ng mother-like instinct. Since sa mga bata, we will become their second parents lalo na sa school. And kagaya po ng sabi ni ate kanina, we have to model the right behavior for the children to copy. And syempre, since we are going to teach the foundations of the child, we have to model these right behaviors. Syempre, para paglaki nila, madadala nila ito and become so sensible and responsible citizens of the society.
Thank you so much. Parang pang-pageant yung sagot niya. Itong on point. Thank you, Miss Louise. So, totoo nga naman, of course, as early childhood educators, since nasa foundation stage kayo, kung saan yung bata, they learn the basics of kung ano man. And tama na we have this motherly instinct, lalo sa case nyo, kasi napakabata pa nang in-handle nyo. And I think nagko-complement yung mga adjectives na binigay nyo because of course, in our attitude of being, or portraying the role of being a mother, we should also be kind and should model the positive attributes or attitude kasi tayo yung nakikita nila most of the time. And of course, we should also be happy because it's our calling. So we have to be happy. So ngayon po, ano kaya yung common na attitudes or attitude rather among ACE students na kailangan nating i-possess to be more effective in the course or program or in preparation na din as a future educator especially for foundational learning or for preschool?
Probably the love for kids po talaga. Kasi like what our teachers told us, we cannot give what we don't have. So if we don't love kids, how can we be able to teach them what we want to teach them?
Thank you so much, Miss Luis. I think I remembered someone na previous guest natin na nagsabi. I think 2 of them nagsabi na yun nga. We should, as early childhood educators, we should have this love for kids because sila yung clientele natin. And of course, it also serve as our motivation or extrinsic motivation kung bakit nasa ganito tayong field. And it's really, aside from it's being our calling. So aside po from love of kids, may gusto pa po kayong i-share?
For me, patience po. Yeah, badly needed na meron kang long patience, especially kids po nowadays, Gen Alpha. So merong mga challenges when it comes to their behavior, and one of the possible or pwede mong gawin is to have long patience and understanding because again, individual differences ng mga kids, they might have a reason kung bakit ganun sila mag-behave, and we should understand that as a teacher and provide intervention so we can help them po.
Yeah, on point, Teacher Kat. Yun nga talaga na we have to be patient kasi we are catering different students from different background. Iba-iba yung attitude nila, iba-iba yung culture na kung saan sila lumaki. So, they have different responses sa kung ano man ginagawa nila sa araw-araw. So, of course, as part na din yun ng, as a motherly figure, as a fatherly figure, as a future educator. Thank you, Miss Kat. So, I'm wondering, kasi may nagsabi sa akin last time, I mean, chinchika ko yung mga previous guests ko. Yung sabi daw, yung iba, yung iba talaga, they are in cold. Dati pa na they have to be a teacher sa elementary, sa early childhood, sa secondary. So, sa inyo pong experience, sa background niyo po, talagang dati, choice niyo na or passion niyo na yung magturo lalo sa mga bata?
Actually po, ako po talaga, hindi ko naman talaga gusto pong magkuha ng course ng early childhood po kasi gusto ko po talaga yung political science. Ay, yeah. Tapos, parang bago po lumabas yung result, parang may nag-aano po sa isip ko na parang mag-change ko nga yung course ko na edu. Sabi ko, hindi ko naman alam yung early childhood na yan. Sabi ko, hindi mo na ako mahilig sa mga bata. Parang sabi ko, mas gusto ko ang political science kasi nga po, parang madaldal ako, parang doon talaga ako, parang pinupersa ko yung sarili ko na doon ako. Pero, nung pumasok po ako sa, nung nag-start na po yung klase, doon na po, na-enjoy ko na po paunti-unti yung course po na ECE po. Then, lalo na po yung mga teachers po namin na in-encourage po talaga kami na ipagpatuloy po yung pag-aaral namin at kunin po yung course na yun po. Kasi, pag na-experience mo na po pala yung pagtuturo sa mga bata, parang yung love mo, nandun na po. Tapos parang hahanap-hanapin mo, parang may something na, parang may kulang kapag hindi mo nakikita yung mga bata. Parang, kasi po, ako po, honestly po, nagtuturo po talaga ako sa Sunday school. So parang, kapag tuwing Sunday po na hindi ako nakakapagturo, parang may kulang. Which is, yun na po yung routine ko na magturo lang sa mga bata po. Yun po.
Thank you so much, Miss Ronaldine. Napakagandang experience. Kasi, although at first, wala pang talagang passion or interest, pero because of the experiences throughout the years and with the interaction with the kids, doon na nabibuild yung passion natin sa field natin. So, it's a very nice and liberating experience for us. So, how about naman po yung talagang passion niya na magturo? What is your inspiration na mag-enroll sa program? Meron po ba dito na talagang passion niya na una pa lang? Kumbaga, since malapit na yung Feb-ibig, ito na ba yung love at first sight? Or una pa lang, alam mo nandito ka na sa program?
Well, on my story po, I think it's a redirection. Kasi during the pandemic, marami akong nakikita sa YouTube like yung mga nagtuturo po sa mga bata. And during that time po, I'm also searching for the courses na pipiliin ko sa college. Then, nauna yung sa UPCA. Pinili ko yung sa UPCA. Wala doon yung parang early childhood or pagtuturo or early teaching na ganon. Tapos, one time, pumasok na yung boses. Nandun na. Parang, may na lang sa Google, like, nag-google ako. Tapos, biglang Bachelor of Early Childhood Education. Then, that time, di pa naman ako nakakapagpili, nakapag-decide. Tapos, dahil doon, parang, pinindot ko yung link. Then, I was able to, read more researches about early childhood education. Then, nag-decide ako na piliin talaga siya. Then ngayon, nang lumabas na yung result, nag-rank 1 ako. So I think sabi ko, this is a redirection. Feeling ko, calling ko to talaga, na nandito na ako, ipagpapatuloy ko to, and parang may purpose yung pagiging number 1 ko eh. Hindi lang siya para maging famous ako or para malaman ng tao na ay dati pala magaling talaga ito ng high school or or sa academics, pero siguro may purpose talaga si God why pinut niya ako dito. Siguro baka sa future po talagang magiging advocate ako for children's right and also especially po sa special education. Yung sa field study po kasi parang nag-deal ako sa learners with special needs, then it's my first time po. Pero grabe yung impact niya sa akin ngayon. Na parang yung hindi ako na-deploy doon sa dati kong pinag-observan, parang natiring ayaw ko kasi gusto ko pa makita yung mga learners na yun. Kaso, hindi na po. Kasi iba na yung na-deployan ko. Pero ngayon po, binibisita pa rin sila. And sinabi ko po doon sa na-deploy na, uy, bantayan mo si yun. Kasi, love ko talaga siya. I think love na love ko sila din. Gusto kong bumalik. Yun na.
Thank you so much, Miss Abigail. Grabe talaga yung willpower or yung drive as as a teacher or educator. So, aside po doon sa talagang choice niya, thank you Miss Abigail, choice niya talagang maging or mag-enroll sa program, sino pa po yung may unique na motivation? Bakit niyo po ba, parang budget na tong question, oh, since nandito yung, let's hear from the representative from first year, yes, Miss Shiha. Ano po yung inspiration mo to enroll in the program?
Actually, I did not want to put myself po talaga sa teaching field. And my friends, and especially my mom, knows that. And then, siguro po, nung nagpasok po ako ng high school, I realized na I like public speaking. I like speaking in front, I like explaining, and also siguro yung sa voice ko rin po, and my patience. And then, as I reached senior high school level, specifically grade 12, one of my teacher said na bagay daw ako magturo. Tapos ang sabi ko, sir, no. Kasi ayoko po I like doing paper, I like writing essays, poetry, but I do not like paperworks. Kasi yung mother ko po, she was once a SPED teacher, and right now, she is a public teacher. So nakikita ko talaga yung papers, and parang, no. Ganon. So, yun po. And then, Buset came. Tapos, ang first choice ko po talaga is BS Psychology. Because I'm really interested po sa child development. I am very curious on how the child's mind works, and why is it that this certain person becomes like that, like what's their background, what happened, and something like that po. So, ang first choice ko po talaga ang psych. And then, nung second choice ko po, sabi ko kay mama, hindi ko alam paano yung second choice ko. Kasi psych lang talaga naisip ko. Sabi ko, what if pol-sci ako? But given the situation here in the Philippines, it's not applicable. And the job, sorry to say, pero mahirap talaga. So, sabi ni mama, why not try early childhood education? Sabi ko, mama, ano yan? Sabi niya, kindergarten teacher daw. Sabi ko, kasi si mama po, she teaches kindergarten. And also, meron po kasi kami yung tinatawag na parang every night, meron kaming chika session. Tapos lagi niya nasi-chika sa akin yung situation ng mga bata na ganitong age or level na di pa nakabasa. So, I'm also advocate in wanting to teach children. I want to be one of their opportunity to help them lesson. Kasi po, diba, meron tayong yung literacy rate. I also want to solve that. Of course, I'm still young pa naman. So the best way to ace that is to start from the starting point, the foundation, which is early childhood education. So, ayoko po talaga magturo. But because of that, parang na-inspire ako. And then, nalaman ko na lang po, I was sad na hindi ako nakapasa sa first choice ko. But at the same time, shocked because, not same with ate, pero I rank 4 po. So, parang sabi ko, what if this is a redirection na baka there is a much more better opportunity for me to showcase my skills and to learn more about myself. I'm sorry, it's a bit lengthy po, pero yun lang.
It's okay. Thank you so much, Miss Shiha. Grabe, mga excellent students pala talaga yung nandito. Congratulations. We are very thrilled to have you here. So ngayon naman po, it's nice na parang meron kayong change of heart. So at first, parang you're testing the waters kung para ba sa akin to. And it's nice na after after exposing yourself kung ano yung nangyayari sa field, even sa classroom pa lang, meron na kayong parang nakitang future kung ano yung magiging role nyo as future early childhood educator. So ngayon po, since parang may twist or sudden leap of faith, ano po ba yung most rewarding part of being an aspiring early childhood educator? Ano po ba yung pinaka-exciting na part sa inyo or experience nyo? Bakit? At first, for some, na initially, hindi talaga siya yung first choice, ano ba yung, yun nga, experience na nagtulak sa'yo para magstay pa din? Or magstay until now, lalo sa mga fourth year?
I think yung pinaka nag-drive sa akin to stay pa sa program is that sa early childhood education program, it's not just about nurturing the future of our generation, but it's about teaching them how to become yung parang catalyst of change. Naniniwala ako na at a young age din kasi they will be able to become a transformative leader. Then, yun yung Yes, parang at a young age, pwede na silang matutong mag-lead and all. And, of course, early childhood education program, dito mo matututunan yung word na tenacity or strong determination. Sabi ko sa sarili ko na I have to continue what I started. Kasi nga, may purpose talaga. Kahit na sobrang hirap and may mga challenges ako na pinagdadaanan, and the deal doon sa FS or something. But it's still, I'm here because naniniwala ako doon sa sinabi ng cooperating teacher ko before na kailangan ka sa field. Kaya galingan mo at ipagpatuloy mo yan or else pwede ka pang mag-aral. And now, parang napag-iisipan ko na maybe one day I will be able to pursue education or master's education na related sa early childhood. And siguro talaga, parang naano sa akin yung sa special education. And yun, ma'am, parang gusto ko pang mas mapapalalim yung kaalaman ko. That's why I stay. Lalo na naniniwala ko na yung mga learners with special needs, they still have room for improvement at kaya pa nilang patunayan sa iba na hindi nakakaintindi sa condition nila na magiging successful sila one day.
Thank you so much, Miss Abigail. Napaka-noble naman and genuine, lalo yung advocacy mo for SPED or children with special need. And totoo nga talaga, I mean, it's true indeed na yung role nyo, especially sa inyo, na you'll be handling kids na kung saan kayo yung magbibigay ng mga initial na knowledge and skills and competencies na pwede nilang dalhin pag nag-iba na silang level, like pumunta na silang elementary, secondary, until college. And it's nice that you have this drive to really teach, not because, of course, aside from salary, you have this noble intention na tulungan sila, na i-mold sila as transformative leaders. And to think then na based sa sinabi ng iba na parang konti pa lang, especially sa atin, sa department nyo yung enrollee sa ECE. And I think it's really a challenge din na to encourage others na perhaps baka ito din yung calling nila to help those child, especially yung may mga special cases na parang we can be the source of inspiration to strive harder na din towards their learning. So aside po dun, ano pa ba yung nyo? Exciting na part.
I'll keep it short for teacher mo to answer. But for me, the most rewarding part of being an ECE student po is the thought na natututoy sa'yo yung mga bata. So I think it's the same for others. And pwedeng iba naman sa kaiba. Pero yun po talaga, my first time na grabe parang overwhelming for me yung feeling na, oh my God, natuto siya because of I did this, and it's a fact na yung sinabi ni Abby, our teacher Abby, na mahirap talaga in different aspects of early childhood education and teaching. May mga mahirap talaga, and it's a different kind when your students learn from you even when you find it challenging. So it's challenging yet fulfilling po.
Thank you, Teacher Kat. I think yan din talaga yung satisfaction in terms of teaching, na talagang makuha natin yung goal na matuto sa atin sila kasi yun din yung role natin. So, yes, Teacher Mona.
So, actually, same sa kanya, like, ang pinaka, ko talaga, like, yung nag-start talaga yung passion ko for ECE is when may duty na akong one kid talaga. Like, ako lang naghahanda sa kanya and beginning reading. So, ang nag-talk talaga sa akin nun is yung mother niya. Like, turuan mo yung anak ko mag-greet. Pero ano lang siya, like, kinder pa naman siya. So, nung nagtuloy-tuloy yung session ko sa kanya, every Sunday, 2 hours, then, sabi sa akin ng mami niya, Ma'am, ay, teacher na yan. Si Tiki Chuti mo ngayon, yung anak ko, naging star reader sa, moving up. Then, nung nag-assessment, nag-rank 1 daw sa best reader. So, sabi ko, parang yung pressure kasi noon, like, yung una, sabi ko, kaya ko ba, like, beginning pa lang ako, like, wala pa nga ako lisensya, and nakaasa pa lang ako kay mama, sabi ko, mama, pwede ba to? Kasi si mama ko, same sa kanya, kinder teacher rin. So sabi ko, mama, ganito ba ang dapat na gawin? Ganito ba dapat approach ang kids? Then sabi ko, if kaya ko siyang gawin sa one child, then pag nasa field na ako, kaya ko siyang, may possibility na kaya ko siyang gawin sa, hindi man 100%, at least 90% ng bata.
That's the confidence, Teacher Mona. Thank you so much. So, sa ngayon po, of course, hindi naman everyday good memories or may good na nangyayari. So, on the other side of the coin, ano naman yung sa tingin nyo or na-experience nyo na most difficult part of your journey as an inspiring ECE educator?
For me, babalik po ako doon. So, na sometimes, things can be overwhelming. Yeah, ito makakarinig ko. So, yun po. My moments talaga when you need to pause. As in, you need to redeem your, babalik ka sa, bakit ko ba ito pinopursue? Ano yung purpose mo? Kasi, hindi ka naman laging nasa heights of your, yes. Meron ka ring mga low moments, mga low lights moments in your life. And, yun po, kailangan mo lang ng, again, support system and finding ibalik mo kung ano yung ba yung purpose mo, bakit mo pinagpapatuloy itong course mo. So, yun po.
Thank you so much, Teacher Kat. Really, when things go astray or kung hindi umaayon sa plano natin, it's crucial na balikan natin why are we here at the very first place, kasi yun din naman yung magiging source ulit ng motivation natin to continue or to move forward. I want to hear from Teacher Micaela, kasi kanina habang nagma-mic test, ang ganda ng boses niya, parang pang broadcasting. I'm curious, teacher, if you don't mind. Part ka po ba ng school pub or broadcasting team, if you don't mind?
Hindi po, pero marami pong nagsasabi kapag nagvo-voice record po ako na yung boses ko daw po is pwedeng
Ano po yun? Advertisement po yun. Okay. Thank you so much, teacher. So, sa part mo po, teacher, or perhaps sa observation mo sa iba, if hindi mo na-experience, ano po yung most difficult part of your journey as an aspiring future ECE educator?
Siguro po isa sa mga downside is sa experience ko po is kapag may nagtatanong kung ano po yung course ko, and pag sinasabi kong ECE or Early Childhood Education po, is ang sinasabi nila is ECE ka lang. Parang hindi man po nila nakikita yung parang halaga ng pagiging ECE teacher. And yun po yung mas nakaka-inspire sa akin na magpatuloy na maging ECE teacher. Kasi gusto ko mapakita sa iba na kapag ECE teacher ka, hindi ka lang nilalang. Kasi malaki yung role mo sa buhay ng mga bata, since sila yung mga next generation. So, malaki yung part namin sa pag-shape ng mga bata.
Thank you so much, Teacher Micaela. That is true indeed. Kasi, personally, perhaps maybe because this is of my ignorance. Hindi din ako masyado familiar, I'm sorry na, nandito kayo ngayon. Hindi din ako masyado familiar sa ECE kasi ang alam ko na at first yung BE Ed, yung sa elementary and secondary. And meron palang separate na program na kung saan yung mga future kindergarten teachers. So I thought dati na hindi ko pa nami-meet yung mga fellow ECE na tutors natin. Akala ko, diretso na kukunin sa grade 1. So, it's nice na we have this platform wherein pala tayong mag-raise na yung awareness sa iba, lalo na sa hindi naman masyado aware sa kung ano ba yung distinction ng mga programs. Kasi, perhaps sa mga incoming first year, next year, this will can serve as rather as a reference or guide sa pagpili nila ng program. So ngayon po, meron ba kayong or I'm curious naman sa kung ano ba yung pinaka-unique na experience nyo sa ECE? Yung talagang unique siya na sa inyo lang nangyari.
May funny story ako, teacher side.
Sige, let's
Para ako
hear that.
magpupunta sa Manila or something, sa far away na place. Kasi yung bit-bit ko pong IMs, nakalagay siya doon sa super laking bag. So yun po ata yung, aside from yung mga technicalities na unique sa ECE, pero once you choose to be an ECE student po, be prepared with lots of IMs. But our IMs has purpose po. Makikita nyo yan yung mamaya. Nagpa-teaser. Pero mamaya po, makikita nyo yung importance ng instructional materials that we develop our professors help us in developing po sa course namin and ginagamit namin sa mga demonstration teachings po namin.
Thank you, Teacher Kat. Yun nga, of course, kailangan tayong prepare sa mga lessons natin. So, ano ba yung common na instructional materials? Although sa secondary, meron din. Pero, di ba, iba naman yung level ng creativity. Kasi of course, sa level na siguro lalo sa mga bata, they are more visual learners. And pag medyo tumataas na din yung tawag dito, grade level, iba na din yung learning style or preference nila. Like, sa college siguro, no need ng masyadong grabbing design yung materials. Kasi hindi naman nila yung appreciate. Baka sabihin nila, tinatrato din na kami mga bata. Of course. So, ano po yung usually na learning materials na gamit niyo teach?
So, in early childhood po, we actually employ like yung play-based method in teaching. So, from the word itself, play-based, we make toys. So, sa mga second year dyan, be ready na marami kayong pagdadaanan with, yes, mga toys po. As I've said by Katrina, na sobrang unique kasi ang pinaka-problem ko po talaga every time na I do demo, paano ko siya dadalhin sa school? That's why, gumagawa na lang kami sa school. Kaya ano na kami dyan, very known na kami dyan pag every Saturday, nagatambay kami sa kinder room to do our instructional materials. Kasi sa mga bata po kasi, they learn through their sensory. Like, kailangan nahahawakan nila, nakikita nila, na-smell nila. So, parang yung ganung expectations for us really makes us challenging po talaga to really think of the IM na very creative at the same time, makaka-learn sila. So, sa mga play-based, I think, nung second year kasi kami, we have this parang, hindi siya sinabi sa amin ng teacher namin, but parang may ranking sa toys. So, oh my God, fortunately, parang nakasabay din ako sa top 3. Gumawa ako ng parang telestory. It's like a television and then, parang visual lang siya kasi yung nakikita lang doon is yung mga illustration from the stories. And then, yung idea nun is that telestory, that children will tell the story based on the visual na nandoon sa yun nga, yung sa story. So, that's the parang yung hint ko. Like, gusto ko, yung mga bata mismo mag-isip, anong nakikita nila dito, they can explain what they can see, para ma-test din yung critical thinking nila. So, I would like to add na sa play-based, hindi lang siya, feeling ko, very common misconception about play-based, I think. Since, bakit baka marami dyan nag-question na iba na, ang mga kinder, play-play lang. Ano bang natututo nila dyan? Play-play lang. Play-play lang. Pero, sa play po, the children learn through playing. It's their natural way of learning. And kung yung bata, nakukuha kasi yung mga interest nila po talaga sa mga toys. So by providing them mga instructional materials that are really interesting and something na nakakapag-ignite ng kanilang parang yung curiosity nila sa world and sa environment. So nakakatulong na as an ECE teacher, we should be able to adopt na yung mga very hard concepts, paano natin sila ituturo in a play-based. I think that's one of the most difficult thankful when you're like constructing the lesson plan kasi aside from the IMs and the stories, also sa mga activities namin, you really have to make sure na even though play lang siya, dapat natatest pa rin yung critical thinking and creative thinking ng mga bata, which is alarming here in the Philippines na we are known na tayo yung pinakamababa when it comes to critical thinking. And yeah, second to the last. Oh my God. Critical thinking and creative thinking. So as an ECU teacher, we have this pressure na syempre kami yung nasa pinaka-foundation. Dapat, at really like, starting from the very, very young age pa lang talaga, dapat natatest na nila yung level of thinking. That's why we employ play-based para maano yung interest nila and at the same time to test their critical and creative thinking.
Thank you so much, Teach Julayka. And I think yun nga, siguro yan na din yung avenue kasi ng mga kids to learn about themselves and others. And yun nga, sabi ni Teach Julayka na doon na din ma-i-develop or ma-discover yung mga bata, yung ano ba yung interest nila. And since then, mga bata pa sila, I think it's also crucial na mag-build yung interaction nila with the other students or learners through play-based approach. So, aside dun po sa play-based approach and sa creative instructional materials or IMs, ano pa po ba yung usual or yung mga unique na instructional materials during demonstration? May sample. Ready sila actually. Talagang they live to their attitude of being prepared. May dala talaga sila. Kanino po iyan na instructional material? Can you share something about this very cute instructional material, Teacher Mon? At saan po ba tong specific na topic?
Sa kinder po, parts of the plan. So, nung first sem po, may individual demo po kami. Then, so, tinapos ko yan talaga, like, 4 hours. So, ang topic ko kasi is about parts of the plan. Then, actually, this is for activity ata yun. So una, like, may real plans talaga ako. Then, for activity kasi, like, naka-separate kasi siya since differentiated talaga ang ginagamit namin for activity. Then, this is for beginning, below basic. So, ito, tinatanggal yan, like, ganyan. Then, actually, may label pa siya. Tinanggal ko lang kasi, hindi ko na nahanap yung iba. So, sabi ko, hindi na ako ganas. Tinanggal ko na lang. Then, gano'n siya. So, actually, very bad siya nung mga kids kasi talagang nahawakan nila. Then, naano ka nila, like, teacher, this is the roots, ganyan. Then, this is the stem. Then, tapos ano yun nila yung pasunod-sunod talaga ng plants. Then, ano pa ba? Like, ang nakakatawa kasi, nung nag-demo talaga. Nung nag-demo kasi ako, may real plants talaga siya. Then, ang pino-point out ko talaga sa activity na yon, like, ma-identify ng kids kung yung parts of the plant. Kahit hindi ko pa siya tinatakel kasi, syempre alam naman nila yung dahon, yung flower, ganyan. Alam mo, feeling ko, mali lang talaga yung pagkaka-question ko kasi sabi ko, base sa ating aktibidad, ano ang napapansin nyo? Ginaganon ko na yung plants. Tapos sabi nila, teacher, madumi yun man yung plants mo.
Very honest and observant naman yung mga kids.
Tapos yung another man, teacher, bakit may uod? So sabi ko, hindi man yun yung minimin ko, pero tama naman talaga yung sinasabi nila. Sa utak ko lang yun, hindi yun yung minimin ko. So, ito, may nakakalam ba nito? Like, ginanong ko na lang talaga siya. So, this is an example of my, I am yung funny story. And,
Thank you so much, Miss Juana. Napaka-creative naman ng learning material or instructional material mo. And it's really nice kasi talagang ma-motivate or ma-encourage yung mga learners na mag-participate. Kasi ano pala siya, pwede siyang matanggal-tanggal, hindi na yung talagang fix na. So, yung sa case mo kanina, siguro it's also one of the challenges in teaching or in terms of pedagogy na, of course, alam naman natin to na pag may hindi na agad na gets ng mga bata, we have to make a follow-up question para ma-redirect sila sa post na answer. And I think, yun nga, yung isa din siyang challenge sa atin para mas lalang ma-enhance yung critical thinking. So, meron pa ba? Meron ano pa? We are excited for more.
Ikaw nandiyan eh.
Ano po yan, Teacher Karen? May pa-survey po dyan or may online quiz?
So, ito po ay isang digital IM na ginawa ko, which dinemo ko din siya this 4th year sa kinder classroom namin. Ang gagawin dito nila is very simple lang, which is i-identify nila kung ito ay sasakyang pandagat, sasakyang panghimpapawid, or sasakyang panlupa. Ang maganda daw dito, sabi dito ng aming city, is digital na siya, which is nakaka-adapt na siya doon sa mismong audience or sa mga bata na meron natin ngayon, which is more on technology. So, very na-enjoy nila dito na kung saan nagdadrag lang sila. Tapos, ayan, nilalagay nila kung saan yung pasto. Ito. So, ang ECE is hindi lang siya more on physical materials. Nag-adapt na din kami ngayon sa society, which is meron na din kaming mga digital materials na inaangkop namin aside from sa mga sa bata ngayon, sa generation ngayon. Ina-adapt din namin siya. Pagdating doon, inaalay namin siya sa objectives na meron ang aming curriculum na kung saan pwede nila matamaan yung mga competencies na meron ang yung mga lessons namin. So, ayun man lang po.
Thank you, Teacher Karen. So, it goes to show na these two materials, meron silang pagkaiba, no? Yung isa traditional and creative, and isa yung digital. So, it also manifests or demonstrates the ability or yung calling sa atin na we have to be adaptive and flexible kasi siguro yung ibang materials or strategies applicable sa ganitong type or group ng students, and may bago na naman na group of students with the influence naman of advancements in technology. So as a teacher, yun nga sabi nila, hindi lang tayo easy teacher lang or hindi lang tayo teacher lang. We have to be innovative, creative, and adaptive para maging effective sa role natin. So, kanina, may pinapractice kayo. Ay, yes.
Yes, yun. Actually,
May
yun.
pinapractice sila. Dear viewers kanina, they are rehearsing for a song.
Ito po, additional fact about being an ECE student, magiging all-rounder po kayo. Mga hindi singer before, nagsising na po. Mga magaling na po mag-dance, mag-compose ng song, mag-write ng poem and stories. So, yun po, mapupurga po talagang creative sides nyo once you become an ECE student.
In the Teacher Cat. So ngayon po, let's hear from the excellent students of ECE department sa kanilang production number.
Ako na lang mag-start.
Kaibigang libro, laging handang magkwento sa iyo. Ingatan niyo ako, alagaan niyo ako. Ako ang kaibigang libro. Huwag tatawagan, huwag upuan. Hindi ang mga pahina. Ako ang kaibigang libro. Laging handang magkwento sa iyo. Ingatan niyo ako, alagaan niyo ako. Ako ang kaibigang libro.
Thank you so much, Teacher Karen and Siksik team. Napakaganda naman ng song. So, ano po ba yun? Sorry na talaga, hindi ko talaga alam. Originally composed ba yun or may nag-compose na nun? May nag-compose na, I see. Napakaganda ng message kasi lalo na ngayon na nasa digital world na tayo, lahat na lang or mostly gumagamit ng e-book and yung iba na neglect na yung physical books. So, napakaganda ng message na this song is advocating na gamitin ng tama yung libro. So, bakit po yun yung napili yung song choice? And usually yun din po ba yung ginagamit nyo sa sa pagtuturo ng mga bata?
Because usually, itong ginagamit na song namin is for read aloud or transitional song namin into story time. Kasi bago mag-story time, may story time kasi ang mga bata sa blocks of time nila. Before mag-story time, kailangan i-orient namin sila about sa book at kung paano gamitin ng maayos ang libro. So, ito yung ginagamit namin.
Yeah, but we actually do have original songs
Na kinompose talaga namin, yes. But I'm not ready to showcase it po. Pero yun po.
Sa second year po actually, nag-demo po kami sa school, pero ang ginawa po namin ng group ko is nag-outdoor kami. Like, instead of sa normal classroom na like sa loob lang. And why not use the environment? Kasi hindi lang nga po baga tayo dapat naka-corner sa loob ng 4 corners of the room. So our group decided na mag-demo sa labas. So naglatag kami ng puzzle mats. And then, pinagtatawanan kami ng ibang students sa dumadaan. Kasi since 8 lang kami, we still have to act as the student. Tapos may isa lang nagtuturo sa harap. So we have this song about the environment na ang goal talaga namin is not just to teach about the environment but also color. So there's this song that... Our world is circle, there's me and you. There's a green jungle and the sky that's blue. Our world is circle, let's jump 1 and 2. Medyo ano na kasi siya teacher, first sem pa namin, and then there are other songs na pinakompose na din po sa amin as part of our requirements. Super dami na po niya talaga, and kaya medyo nakakalimutan na siya. Parang ang last niya, let's go, look at the view. Yun yung parang ina-encourage namin yung bata na parang yung sa Dora baga na, back. Parang yun na nag-atakan namin na parang parang encourage the child na hindi lang sa loob, na pati din sa labas. Kasi digital age ngayon ang mga bata, mas pipiliin nila na mag-gadgets nila na maglaro na lang sa loob ng rooms. So, naisip namin, why not ilabas natin yung mga bata para hindi yung basta lang sila nasa gadget and nagiging sedentary na din kasi yung lifestyle nila. So, parang it's nice na mapakita natin sa bata na hindi lang sila matututo sa loob ng classroom but also sa environment. Like, simple colors lang. Like, for example, yung sky na blue or yung leaves na green and yung brown na tree trunk, gano'n. Pwede na nila yun magamit. Yung mga practical lang na nandyan sa paligid nila.
Thank you so much, Miss Teacher Luis. Napakaganda naman talaga ng mga songs niyo, lalo na yung kinanta ni Teacher Luis. And it's nice din na ginagamit yung song or even other creative pieces, even siguro kahit sa ibang grade level. Kasi kumbaga, kung yung interest ng bata may interest sila sa music, may encourage sila na mag-participate, or kung other arts din sa dance or sa painting, ganyan. Kumbaga, it also goes to show din na we have to be critical sa ating learning materials kasi dapat hindi lang tayo nakaka-relate as aspiring educator, most importantly, yung bata nakaka-relate din kasi sila nga yung tinutulungan natin or sinuserva natin. So, ngayon po, base kasi doon sa proposal. So, meron daw na mga significant researches. So, nandito na tayo sa part. So, and may mga exciting findings din or crucial findings din. So, ano po ba yung kino-consider yung crucial in terms of deciding policies and programs for ECE? First, in terms of creating learning materials. Based po sa researches, ano ba yung crucial doon? Specifically yun nga.
So, okay, so we have this research about IM. So, this is actually inspired during the pandemic na merong may nag-viral doon na post na yung parang ano ang laruan for girls and boys. So, for girls, mga dolls. For boys, typically, there are cars, yun. Tapos, naisip namin, ng kagrupo namin, Kat is my groupmate, and hello to Hanya and Diana. So, sabi namin, why not gumawa kami ng research about the gender representation in instructional materials. So, gumawa nga po kami noon. So, yung naging research output po namin is IM. So, based po sa findings namin, may mga misconceptions po talaga sa when making instructional materials, especially pag yung parang sa gender nga po. Kasi during the interview with our participants, parang nakana-realize pa lang nila na, gari, iisipin natin na, para gender, gari, kumbaga, parang categorize mo na kasi for the girls and boys, yung base po kasi sa mga other researches is that kapag nasa early childhood, yun na nga, yung pinaka-foundation of everything. So, it is crucial for us as ECE na dapat tayo mismo, wala tayong stereotyping, wala tayong gender biases kasi pwede nila yan idala sa pagtanda. So, okay, parang dun nga na-realize ng mga teachers ng mga participants namin how important it is. Since ang mga bata kasi, when we limit their potential, their skills. Kunwari, as a girl, ang pinaka-known or common dyan, you're a girl, you can become a teacher, you can become a nurse. Pag lalaki ka, you can be a police, a firefighter, a doctor. So, kapag tayo mismo as a teacher, sinasabi na natin yun sa bata, parang nililimit na natin yung mga skills and magiging potential nila. Since parang opposite siya kasi dapat tayo mismo, we should help them reach their optimum potential. So by catering various mga IMs natin, hindi dapat natin siya kinakategorize na this is for boys, this is for girls. We should allow them to explore the things that they want since nasa ECE nga yung pinaka doon mag-start kung saan sila interested and baka doon din magiging inspired kung anong gusto nilang maging. So, napakadaming backstory. So, dun nga, nagawa kami ng research output. So, for my part, I wrote 2 books. This one, nasa website po namin siya. Nasa
Ano yung website?
We have a website po. Oh, wait. Not yet finished po. Kasi currently nasa editor po siya yung research namin for the hardbound part. But I wrote 2 books. Yung isa, ako nag-illustrate. Oh my God, hindi po ako nag-drawing ha. Hindi rin ako nag-write ng stories, but I did kasi yun nga yung sa research namin. And I also wrote 1 rhyme. And the most exciting part is that I composed a song. Oh my God! Wala akong background in music. I don't do songs. I don't even sing. Tapos, pero yun nga, yung second year kami talaga, required sa amin kung mag-compose kami ng songs. So, sa experience ko, I composed 3 songs for MTV, Filipino, and English. So, sabi ko, kung mag-iba kaming song, ay baka kaya ko man. Kasi gumawa na ako. So, I did. So, fortunately, naging maayos naman po yung sample. Sabi ko, inano ko na tignan yung lyrics. Kasi sabi ko, baka makalimutan ko. So,
talaga siya.
Yeah. So, this song po, since our research is about gender representation, so very, po siya, Kat, can you sing with me? Kagroup kita! So, this is the tune of Leron Leron Sinta. So, the title is Babae Lalaki. Okay. Babae o lalaki, pantay-pantay sana. Anong trabaho mo? Polis, doktor, gwardya. Kung kaya kang lalaki, babae kaya man. Maski anong trabaho, pwede sa gapos. Anong kawaton mo?
Bola o manika, maski aron sa duwa, pwede iyan sa to. Ang mga kawatan, warang katauhan, maski anong kawat, pwede sa gumos. Okay na. So, hindi ko na siya ilala kasi 4 stanza po siya. So, this song po, parang inaano ko na, parang ang message ko dito is that kahit ano kang gender, you can become kung anong gusto mo. And yung sa toys, yung anong kawatan mo, you can, even you're a boy, you can play dolls. If you're a girl, you can play cars. Yung nasa third stanza ko is about color. Kasi, di ba, kapag girls ka, pink. Kapag boys, blue. And yung pinaka-final ko dito is that I encourage everyone to see every person na as an equal. Wala dapat tayong biases and stereotyping. So we're lucky enough na in the 21st century we are in that parang nasa challenging stereotyping na tayo. And I'm very happy din na I got to share this research po here in the Orange community kasi napakarami din po namin na-realize and natutunan by that research.
Thank you so much, Miss Julaica. Totoong since nasa foundation or nasa early stage kung saan nag-discover yung mga bata yung sarili nila, mga interest nila and skills nila, it's crucial na maging critical din tayo sa mga tinuturo natin sa kanila, lalo sa mga ini-expose natin sa kanila, whether in language, in sa mga activities. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's awakening for some, lalo na sa mga nasa field na nagpa-practice pa. Perhaps in the near future, pag nasa setting or real field na sila, talagang ma-apply nila yung insight nyo ngayon. How about, sino pa po yung 4th year since nag-research din? Or yung mga 3rd year na currently nagre-research, kumusta naman po yung result or finding? Ano ba yung isa din sa crucial or critical na finding sa research nyo?
So, sa amin po, luckily, na-hardbound na siya.
Congratulations! Ready na pwede na mag-marriage siya.
Yan, about siya sa role ng parents sa pag-nurture ng literacy skills. So, sa findings namin, parang ang daming lumalabas na sagot ng mga magulang na ginagamit lang nila na mga literacy materials is yung galing sa eskwelahan. Pero, dun sa research namin, gusto namin maipalabas na even sa house nila, even doon sa mga bahay nila, ay pwede nilang turuan yung mga anak nila. So, yung ano po namin is sa far-flung area sa Bakakay. So, island po yun. So, basically, yun na, given na wala silang, paminsan po walang kuryente and mahina yung signal. Pero ang ini-emphasize po namin na yung mga textbook po baga or mga printed materials na pwede nila i-ano sa mga bata, na pwedeng matutunan ng mga bata yung literacy, ay dapat present yun. Kasi, yun nga, sa mga magulang and parang sabihin ko na rin po sa mga parents na wag yung parang lang yung parang learning sa mga bata na magtatapos lang doon sa school. Actually, sa bahay, may learning talaga lalo na sa literacy. And even po, doon sa ano namin, yung sa community po, baga, mga signages, kung nagtatanong ang mga bata, yun, magiging magandang factor yun o magandang panimula yun para mas ma-improve pa ng mga bata yung literacy. So, parents are teachers also. So, dapat tayo, kung sa mga parents out there po, kahit man po busy kayo sa work, magbigay din po siguro ng time para turuan yung mga bata, especially yung literacy skills po ay napaka-importante po, lalo na sa mga foundational years po. Yun.
Thank you so much, Teacher Abigail. It's a really good reminder ngayon. Kasi I remember may professor ako sa college na nagsabi na teaching is a partnership or a collaboration between a teacher and the parents. Kasi, of course, although we are called to teach, pero may part pa din kasi yung parents, supposedly, lalo pag mga bata pa sila, since nasa bahay, and not all the time na mamonitor ng teacher yung mga progress ng bata since we have to cater to a large number of students, especially for public schools. Yun nga, yung sinabi ni Teach Abigail na we at least spend the time with our kid, especially yung sa foundation skills, like yung sa reading, writing, kasi dun din yung ano nila, yung kukuha ng strength para sa academic capabilities nila in the near future. So thank you so much, Miss Abigail, for sharing that. So, hindi na lang siya haka-haka. Totoo kasi may na-proven na ng research nyo, and of course, ang iba pang research na pwedeng ma-come up sa relevant sa study nyo. So, how about naman po kay Miss Ronaldine?
Sa amin po, hindi pa naman po kami totally tapos po mag-research po. Nasa data gathering pa lang po kami. Pero yung research po namin about po parental discipline, about po sa technology po. So, based po doon sa findings po namin, kung mapapansin po natin, di ba, maraming mga bata ngayon na talagang tutok na tutok sila sa mga gadgets po, kumpara dati po na yung mga bata doon naglalaro. Tapos ngayon po, kung mapapansin natin, nasa 1 year old, 2 years old, hawak gadgets agad. So, parang doon po sa ano po namin, research po namin, gusto namin malaman kung ano ba yung mga challenges or mga strategies na gustong gawin or ginagawa ng mga parents para po maano yung screen time po sa mga bata po. Then, ngayon po, since nasa process pa lang po kami ng data gathering, aalamin pa po namin yung mga challenges po na kinakaharap po ng mga parents po. Since magka-group po kami ni Mikaela, dadagdagan niya na lang po.
Actually po, nasabi niyo na po lahat. I think po our study is very timely and relevant since nasa age na nga po sila ng technology. And as ECE teacher, hindi lang po kami about teaching but also disciplining children. And our study also aims to help parents nowadays kung ano ba yung mga ways, your proper ways para disiplinahin yung mga bata ngayon.
Thank you so much, Teacher Mikaela and Teacher Ronaldine. Totoo nga yung sinabi nila na napaka-timely ng research nila kasi yung mga bata pa lang, hindi ko alam yung actual na edad, pero mga bata pa lang, yun na yung ginagamit ng, hindi naman sila lahat, ng ibang parents, yung phone, yung videos sa YouTube or sa YouTube para kunwari ipatahan yung bata. Of course, meron naman na positive side, yung technology, like kunwari, sa language, with exposure sa mga videos, sa mga kung ano-anong content using a certain language, like English language, may retention naman talaga or merong acquisition ng knowledge. But pag hindi siya na-regulate, meron din siyang negative consequence. Kasi pwedeng ma-expose sila sa mga materials na supposedly hindi pa dapat. Or yun nga, yung perhaps siguro yung attention span din, perhaps contributory yung digital technologies sa kung bakit madali nang ma-distract yung mga students or yung iba gusto na lang na gumamit ng gadgets and hindi na mag-aral. So, napakaganda ng mga researches nyo and hoping na with that findings or results, maybe we can come up with the programs or policies para ma-actualize to really contribute to the field of education, especially sa ECE. So, dun din po sa mga researches nyo, ano po yung 3 most na common and crucial na social issues na nakita nyo or na-observe nyo?
Na-mention na siya actually before, but yung literacy nga po, meron po talagang even now po, yung mga students, may ibang hindi pa nakakabasa. And one of the factors actually from research is yung technology din po. Like, we should really advocate for print-rich environment because that's where it starts aside from, again, teaching and ng support from parents na matuto yung mga bata in reading, in writing, in... So, yun po.
I think the second one, yung na-mention din nila Ronaldine, which is about technology. Kasi, sa technology, tama yung sinabi ni Teacher Saidi that it has positive and negative. Nagiging positive siya when we pag make sure natin that it is developmentally appropriate. Yeah, so sa non-easy, developmentally appropriate means age appropriate, culturally. Yeah, so sa developmentally appropriate practices, kailangan talaga akma yung age nila sa kung anong natin. So, iba naman kasi sa parent, iba din as a teacher. So, if you're a teacher, dapat, dapat, before you integrate technology, dapat you check everything. Kasi minsan may mga foul words dyan na we are not aware na kung hindi talaga natin i-double check. And also, dapat alam rin ng mga bata kung ano yung mga boundaries nila. They should have limitations kung hanggang saan at hanggang kailan lang sila gagamit ng technology. And as a parent, of course, very common now sa generation that they use it for parang nagabantay na yung mga cellphone and tablets, which is really concerning now kasi it can really, based on researches, it can affect, as you said, po teacher side, the attention span and the misbehavior of the child. Kasi yung parang visual simulation ng mga bata, parang it can affect parang psychologically and or but yun po. So I think technology, since we're in this now in generation na very technology na, so hindi na natin siya maiiwasan as a teacher. Forever na yung technology and now may AI. Yan yung pinakabago. So as a teacher din, syempre kailangan natin mag-adopt, but we have to make sure na before natin sila ipakita sa mga bata that it is developmentally appropriate.
Thank you so much, Teacher Julaica. So, since nakita na natin yung mga social issues na related sa ECE, from a very fresh perspective, Miss Shiha, how do you think these issues can be resolved? Yung mga nasabi nila or yung mga nafo-foresee mo na pwedeng maging hindrance in terms of education sa mga bata?
As a first year student, talagang mababa. Oo nga. Ganun yung dating niya na talagang bawat galaw nating mga role model ay talaga nakaka-affect siya sa mga children, especially ages 0 to 3. So, meron po kaming subject, child development. Tapos, add ko lang po, meron po kasi kaming parang may pinapa-research sa amin na research about child development. And yung isa po doon is parang about paano nakaka-affect ang pregnancy journey ng isang mother sa child development. And it is true na it starts talaga sa mother. So it starts kung paano alagaan ng isang mother yung sarili niya. Kasi once a mother knows how to take care herself, alam niya na kumbaga po, the womb is the safe space of a child. So, kumbaga, kung paano yung discipline ng mother, yun yung magiging parang outcome ng child. Yun po yung nakita namin sa research na yun. And meron siyang dalawang factors. Meron yung internal factor and the external factor. So, yung internal factor po is of course yung nutrition, kung paano alagaan yung ng mother sa sarili niya, yung kinakain niya. And the external factor naman po is yung stress. Stress from the environment, the pollution, affect din yan. And also yung kung ang mother pa is galing sa isang abusive environment, very much naka-affect siya sa baby. So, sa mga mothers out there, you really have to take care of yourself kasi you're not just thinking of your safety but also the child's safety. And I think napalayo po ako ng answer kasi kanina ko po talaga siya nasa mind tapos nahiya lang ako mag-say. So, another thing po, siguro one way to solve the problem, yun na nga po, number one po talaga na nasa mind ko is discipline. As a early childhood educator, we are the starting point of these children. We are the foundation on how we will mold them to become a good student in the future and also to prepare them for their next level, which is the elementary level. So talagang we have to set rules. Classroom management. Yan, natandaan ko kay teacher. Yan, natandaan ko po siya na very important po ang time management. Ang classroom management on how you will handle kids. First, of course, you have to get their attention. You have to make sure na comfortable sila sa'yo and that they feel secure na, okay, this teacher can be trusted, I can be comfortable. Kasi once the child is comfortable sa'yo, mas ma-express na yung sarili niya. And of course, we are now in the 21st century. And by that, we are very open sa mental and emotional state or social emotional domain. So talagang it's good na we are highlighting that kasi before po baga very closeted siya. So now we are also teaching these kids to be open, to be expressive. Kasi once they know that, then they will know to themselves na I want to be like this. I want to also I want to express what's in my mind so that kapag na-express ng bata ko ano yung nasa utak niya, inagagawa niya yun. So, yan, self-discipline, practice, self-discipline, maganda po siya sa classroom management at the same time sa 14 learning principles, yung motivation. So, it's also good din po, aside sa discipline, you have to motivate your students to, kasi once na na-feel nung bata na, si teacher, minomotivate ako. Kasi di ba po, baga mga ates, dun po sa, nalala ko lang sa lesson na, sa stage ng tinuturuan natin, dyan nabibuild up yung confidence ng mga bata. So once we encourage more of our students, edi doon nila ma-realize na, yay, kaya ko to. Dahil na pansin ako ni teacher na motivate and na-encourage, and then I will do better. Mag-i-improve pa ako. And once we set that sa bata, pag pasok niya ng grade 1, maganda na yung foundation na nakabuild na siya ng starting point to enjoy elementary life.
Thank you so much, Miss Chiha, for that insightful sharing. Indeed, totoo nga yung quote ni Dan Rather, sabi niya doon, a dream begins with a teacher who believes in you. Napaka-crucial ng role natin kasi we can either make or break a certain learner, a young learner. Kasi perhaps yung mga sinabi natin out of negligence, pwedeng maka-apekto sa self-esteem niya, or on the brighter side, pwede tayong maka-inspire ng mga learners to maximize or unlock their full potential. And nandun din na-remember ko based sa sharing ni Miss Chiha, yung about sa child development. I don't know if tama yung memory ko, pero may teacher kami from ECE, feeling ko teacher niyo siya. Sabi niya, alam, madam, if mali po yung memory ko, it's my fault. Sabi ni madam dati, parang 5 weeks pa lang sa tummy yung child, parang nakakarinig na siya. And to mothers out there na parang nag-ano pa lang yung baby nila. I mean, yun. Pwede kayong, sabi ni teacher or ni professor, pwede daw nabasahan yung bata. Kasi parang, kasi paglabas nila, parang, kumbaga, at that very young stage, may exposure nila sa language, kung ano yung, or sa stories, or even after giving birth, kung mga ilang months na sila, or rather, year, pwede na natin silang basahan, although they can't really respond through words, at least, meron ng exposure sa language. Perhaps we can do, the mothers or aspiring mothers can do that in terms of enhancing the literacy ng mga bata. So, thank you so much, Miss Shia. So, aside po doon, meron pa po bang gusto kayong i-share? Kung paano natin na-resolve yung mga issues na nasyon?
Additional lang, since parang natatakal namin siya this second year, besides sa immediate family or sa parents ng bata,
And aside sa teachers, we also need the cooperation of the school itself and the community because we have this saying na it takes a whole village to raise a child. So parang hindi lang siya, sabi nga nila ate kanina, hindi lang dapat ang learning nasa school, dapat meron din sa bayan. And of course, meron din mismo sa community. Like, we have this, we should have these programs. Like, for example, since hindi naman po baga lahat nakaka-access ng education, we should have these programs na, for example, read aloud na lang, kahit simple read aloud lang na we're in, for example, may malaking puno kaya sa isang community, under the tree, we can read, or like, for example, kahit nga wala tayong story na ginawa, we can use the environment as the props for the child to create a certain story or like create a certain song since actually creative din naman talaga ang mga bata. Like anything under the sun, magagawa nila yan ng kwento since very creative sila. And makwento talaga sila, natural na yun sa kanila. So parang it is important that we also have the support of the community. Kahit walang money or basta anything na andyan na pwede nating magamit para makatulong tayo sa pagturo sa mga bata.
Thank you so much, Miss Luis or Teacher Luis. Totoo nga, kasi perhaps dati, siguro wala pang access ng technology, perhaps present pa yung ganyan na tawag dito, activity. And siguro ngayon na digital na tayo or digitalized na masyado, kanya-kanya ng routine sa bahay using phones. So it's nice that through that simple act, we can build a more empowered individuals or learners through sa pag-share ng stories, sa pag-expose sa kanila sa mga activities na siguro because of financial reasons, hindi kaya nilang pumasok sa school. But perhaps, yun nga sa activity na yan, we can still extend or impart our knowledge through that advocacy. So, ngayon po, so dito sa based sa mga sharings nyo, sa mga experiences nyo in the past, as an aspiring ECE educator, ano po ba yung parang accomplishment mo na you are most proudest of? Like at this very point, whether nasa first year ka pa lang or nag-internship ka na, as an ECE student, ano ba yung accomplishment mo na pinaka-proud ka?
So, actually, this is my experience ng first year. Feel ko alam na nila ate. It's about the pageant. Actually, I represented BESED for a pageant. And actually, it was my first time. I don't go out much, like, for example, strutting around or like wearing these types of clothes. But because of BESED, I was able to raise my confidence and actually raise awareness about the body confidence since nowadays, there are lots of children din actually na nabubully because of their physical appearance. Like, for example, si ganito, mataba. Tapos minsan ginagawa pa nila ng kanta yan. So, I was, actually, parang na-experience ko din naman yung ganun. So, parang last year, it was parang an eye-opener for me. Kasi actually, umiiyak pa ako ng kalaate. Like, the time of the pageant, umiiyak ako. Sabi ko, ate, ayoko na. Kasi nakita ko na yung mga kalaban ko na hala, ang tatangkad, ang papaya. Tapos ako, ang taba-taba ko, ganyan. Tapos, parang, ang anxiety ko noon, it's creeping up talaga na parang kinakain niya ako. But since ando naman sila ate to give their full support and I stand by my advocacy which is body awareness since lahat naman tayo may kanya-kanyang body structure and we have our own flaws. We just have to be proud of it since yun yung parang, it is us, like it is what makes me me. And yun yung parang one thing na need natin ma-empower or maturo sa bata na be proud of who they are. Like, they don't need to change themselves kasi maraming bata ngayon na parang, actually at a young age, may ibang bata dyan na natututo na parang hindi ako gusto ni ganito kasi ganito ako, so I have to change myself. Kaya, parang as pre-service teachers, parang isa yun sa tumatak sa akin na parang, as someone na naka-experience ng ganun, kailangan ko siyang i-uphold kung gaano ako confident sa body ko. And para maturo ko din siya sa mga future students ko. And after po nun actually na pageant, parang I started to be more, parang confident na po talaga na okay lang sa akin magsuot ng medyo crop na damit or okay na sa akin mag-show ng legs or hindi na ako mag-shave ng face. It's medyo conscious po talaga ako sa itsura ko. Pero after that pageant, I became more confident na talaga na hindi na ako nahihiya na okay lang na magsuot ako ng ganito. Kasi ano naman kung ano sasabihin nila. It is me. They don't care or wala naman silang magagawa if ganito ako. Kasi it's me talaga. So it is one of the parang turning point na din po actually ng buhay ko yung pageant na yun.
Thank you so much, Teacher Luis. Napaka-versatile mo naman sa ECE. Nagpa-pageant din. Hindi lang kayo songwriter, hindi lang kayo composer. Nagpa-pageant din. So, aside po doon, kay Miss Micaela, ikaw po ang lucky winner. So, ano po yung pinaka-proud ka na na-achieve mo ngayong third year ka na?
Siguro po, yung mga activities po talaga kasi parang nakaka-overwhelm po talaga yung sobrang dami. Pero parang, ano po, at the end of the day, parang, ay, nalalampasan lang po pala. Parang biglang wala na, tapos na. And yun po, sobrang nakaka-proud kasi kahit nakakapagod siya and magastos nga po, very helpful po siya talaga sa amin kasi parang doon na din po kami natitrain and yung mga pinagagawa po namin is makaka-help po sa amin sa pagturo po namin sa, yun po, yung pagturo namin. And yun po talaga, nakakapagod pero worth it po yung mga natututunan.
Thank you so much, Teacher Micaela. So, of course, hindi naman natin ma-deny na we have this good and bad experiences. Pero, based dun sa mga naranasan nyo na, where do you see yourself 10 years or 5 to 10 years after finishing your degree? Nandyan pa ba yung burning passion or love for kids or for teaching? Let's hear from Teacher Abby.
5 years from now. Ay, 10.
5 to 10.
5 to 10. Siguro po, teacher, nandun pa rin. Kasi sabi ko nga po sa'yo, parang redirection and may purpose talaga kung bakit nandito ako. And yun nga, yung sinasabi kong nagpa-plan ako to parang mag-aral pa and mas ma-broaden pa yung knowledge ko about early childhood education and especially special education. Yun yung parang nagiging motivation ko to strive harder po and to chase my dreams with burning desires no matter what happened po. Kasi alam ko na lalo na doon sa academic roadmap ko. Sorry na. Sa academic roadmap ko, siguro 5 years sa loob pa sa span pa ng 5 years, nakikita ko pa yung sarili ko na nag-aaral. So basically, baka yun yung parang ko na sana ako sa akin ni God na sa early childhood education or mas mapabroaden ko pa yung knowledge ko about early childhood education. So yun, baka makita niyo ako na advocate na nga ng sana, hopefully, baka di natin alam na na ako, part na ako ng mga program or organization. Though, ngayon, medyo pa. Pero sana, yun nga, inihiling ko kay God. And sana naman yung mga iba na gusto din maging child advocate na yun, mag-pray lang kayo kasi alam ko na prayer will work po. So, siguro child advocate ako or yun, nag-aaral pa about early childhood education.
Thank you, Teacher Abigail. The Orange community is with you or rooting for you sa advocates mo. And sa natin, let's hear naman from graduating student, any representative. Since malapit na kayong lumuwas sa real life, real life after school, graduating din siya. Another from graduating student, where do you see yourself 10 years or 5 to 10 years after finishing your degree?
Go on na. Hello.
No pressure.
Actually, sa roadmap ko, wala yung smart speech, pero ko. Naka-record pala din. Pero, feeling ko naman, 10 years from now, kung hindi naman ako tutor sa smart speech, baka, teacher na rin ako someday. Pero, siguro, with communication pa rin sa smart speech. Kasi, yun yung talaga yung parang nag-open ng door. Nag-open ng door for me, man. And, so many, experience. Then, ako talaga, hindi ko talaga nakikita pa yung sarili ko talaga na very pero for me, talagang for teaching talaga ako. Like, nandun talaga yung calling. Hindi man dito, sa ibang man na lugar, but I see myself teaching talaga kids.
Thank you so much, Teacher Monalyn. So, let's hear from Miss Gia since first year pa lang siya. You still have a long way to go. Pero, where do you see yourself 10 years after finishing your degree?
Actually, nakaplano na po ako. It's just up to me kung magbabago siya or will stay. After graduating po siguro, nasabi ko na to kay mama na I want to work. I want experience. And siguro after 1 to 2 years of experience, I want to study again. Specifically masters. And dito, di ko pa alam, pero gusto ko po talaga mag-aral ng child psychologist or something about child development. Nakalimutan ko yung tawag doon. Yan. Yun po, child psychiatrist. Since, again, gusto ko po, first choice ko po ang psychology. At the same time, I'm interested po sa child development. So sabi ko, why not combine those two of my interest? So, yun po. And di ko pa alam kung sana school, pero my mom suggested na I can study while working abroad. So sabi ni mama, if there's an opportunity there, then you go for it. Ate. Like, I should go kasi opportunity doesn't comes always. So once na there's a door open or even a window that is open, grab that opportunity. Kasi, yun na nga, you only live once. So might as well fulfill all your goals in life. And eventually po, PhD. Pero, I'm contemplating po kung mag-PhD ako or maglo-law school. So, hindi ko pa po alam. Bahala na lang po siguro si Lord and yung journey ko. Since first year pa naman po ako, baka mabago pa naman po. So, yun po. Ay, hindi na mag-shift ate. Sure na po talaga.
Wishing you the best in all your future endeavors, Miss Shia and Miss Teacher Monalyn. So let's hear.
Sorry po, pwede po mag-add. Hala, naging madami.
It's okay.
Naalala ko po kasi nung siguro grade 12, meron po kaming research. And tanda ko, sabi ko, gusto ko makagawa ng theory about children. So, siguro yun din yung nasa mind ko kaya gusto ko mag-masters in child psychology. Kasi sa sobrang interesado ko po, gusto kong makabuo ng something na ikahihirap ng buhay ko. Sabi nga ni mama, ay wow, theory, sigurado ka dyan, wala ka bang plano mag-asawa, gano'n. So sabi ko, if you're willing and if your heart really desire for it, then you can manage both. So sabi ko, bahala na si Lord sa akin. Basta itong gusto ko, kung may pumasok man sa utak ko and kaya ko naman, then I'll go for it po. Yun lang.
Thank you so much again, Miss Chia. We are wishing you the best sa mga plans mo sa buhay mo and even in your career. So, let's hear naman from Teacher Ronaldin. Ano naman kayo mga exciting niyang plano? Narinig na natin yung mga exciting plano ng 3 natin. Na easy.
Okay, sa amin po, actually po, kami po, yung tropa ko po, yung circle of friends po namin, nagabalak na po talaga kami na after 10 years po, nandun po yung dedication and passion po namin for teaching. And balak po talaga namin na gumawa kami ng sariling school po namin, na kami yung mismo magiging owner po. And then, kasi po, sa isang subject po namin, may ginawa po kaming grade na school po, which is, yun po yung gusto namin na ipatayo po na school po. Then, balak po namin na kapag kami naging owner nun, yung mga ECE students po, yung kukunin po namin sila para magturo po doon. May balak na kami sa inyo.
Mayroon na pala naghihintay, sabi ni Miss Louise, na opportunity para sa ECE. Wishing you the best sa mga plano nyo. And napaka-noble naman and genuine. So, the universe will surely connive para ma-actualize yung plans nyo. So, ngayon po, perhaps yung iba, they're wondering, bakit naman natin kailangan na maging ganito or i-take yung course na ganito? So, ngayon po, what is your advice to those students who are perhaps or meron talagang interest sa degree sa early childhood education? Ano po ba yung advice na may bibigay nyo sa kanila?
If you love teaching kids, especially children, then go for it. I will say this to you, it is not an easy journey. Even today, andito pa rin kami sa early childhood education, but we are really striving to be the best future teachers of young children, because again, we are helping or guiding them during their foundational years, which are really crucial for the adult that they will become in the future. So, yun po, if you want to inspire children and help them be the best version of themselves, then enroll na kayo sa ECE.
And yun nga, go for it lang. And actually sa ECE, mahihilang inner child. Dito sa ECE, it's not just about the child, but it's also about you. Kasi dito, parang mas makikilala mo din yung sarili mo, and of course, kung paano ka lumaki, ma-realize mo yung, madami kang ma-realize sa ECE na hindi mo ma-realize if nasa iba kang, sa iba kang field. Kasi, parang namumulat ka, hindi lang, like for example, we have this lesson about parenting styles. So, hindi lang siya about matututo ka na agad yung nangyari sa akin. Parang, mabubuhay ka actually, parang mamumulat ka sa kung ano talaga yung nangyayari sa society and mismo sa sarili mo din. Kaya if you're planning to take ECE, if you're having second thoughts, ako na yung sa inyo, i-take nyo.
Thank you so much, Teacher Denise. Sana narinig nyo yung sinabi nila na it's fun also in ECE. So, before I ask you po to give us a simple message, kung may gusto kayong pasalamatan or may gusto kayong i-plug na upcoming activities sa ECE, we also want to plug something kasi in collaboration with our tutors who are also from early childhood education, we launched meron kaming new program which is the Foundational Literacy and Numeracy Development Program. Yung program po na ito is designed to cater to preschoolers and toddlers na merong mga special cases like speech delay or siguro sa writing. So, with our activities or program of activities, we aim to assist them in their developmental or academic needs. So, yun lamang po. Thank you. And before we end, do you have any message that you want to share with our viewers and with our to our Orange community? Maybe kung may gusto po kayong pasalamatan, the team behind.
Sorry for yes po. Since graduating na po kami, and we always say thanks to our professors, but again, this is an opportunity to thank them, to our mothers in early childhood education and fathers as well. So thank you so much for helping us be the best ECE student so far, yes. And I hope that you continue po to inspire other students, not just in early childhood education po, but again in the wider community through your voices and your advices.
So,
Teacher Abigail.
So, to the mother of the said program, Professor Maylin Grisola Yeva. Oh my God! Yun na talaga. Teacher, no words will explain how grateful I am sa imo. Or, wait lang, sige. We are pala. Teacher, naramdaman ko yung suporta mo sa amin first year pa lang. And yun sa akin personally, alam mo na yun, teacher. Thank you sa pagbigay sa akin ng opportunity na makatrabaho ka. Yun nga. And sana makatrabaho talaga ta sa future. Yun.
Thank you so much, Teacher Abigail.
Hello. Okay, hello everyone. As a former trustee of organization, ako yung nagpa-make ng lanyard competition. So, hello everyone to the ECE members. Please, buy na kayo ng lanyard. Screenshot! This is designed by third year, Nika. Hello, Nika. So, this lanyard was designed by her. So, please po, mag-buy na kayo ng lanyard natin for yes, be proud na ECE kayo. And, of course, para may fans na yung organization natin. So, please buy po. So, ayan lang po. And also, our latest design of our t-shirt. Ayan. So, wow, nag-promoted. So, this is our ECE shirt. So, ayan, may logo dito sa front and then at the back. We have Early Childhood Educator, Bicol University. So, ECE member, please po, please buy them all. So, our lanyard and our ECE shirt. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you want to buy po, please contact the organization and our trustee, Miss Fretch. Hi, Fretch. So, magbayad kayo sa kanya. Thank you so much po. And also, thank you din po sa Smart Speech for giving us an opportunity po to raise awareness kung ano nga ba talaga ang early childhood education. So, this is not just for play. This is not just counting numbers. This is not just about singing ABC, pero there's more than that. We can offer more kung ano man yung mga misconceptions nyo about early childhood. I hope na this episode na nag-giveaway or nag-open sa inyo kung ano nga ba talaga yung role ng mga early childhood educators. That's all. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Miss Julika. Meron pa po ba? This is your chance.
Okay, it's one.
The price of the lanyard is 160 pesos po. And the t-shirt is 420 pesos.
Alright, thank you so much. Again, thank you so much sa organization, sa BUCE ECE department, in collaboration with the team led by Sir RJ. Thank you so much for considering Smart Speech as your partner in realizing this endeavor. And sana na-realize natin yung goal natin, which is to empower and also to shed light kung ano ba talaga yung world of ECE educators. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to our 9th episode of Amplifying Voices with our special guests from early childhood educators. We hope that you have been inspired by their stories and, like them, may we respond to the call of creating empowered individuals. If you also have an inspiring story or talent that you want to share with the Orange community and the world, kindly contact us at smartspeech2023@gmail.com. See you in our next episode with another special guest. This has been your host, Saidi Bigtas. Join us in celebrating life stories and uncovering potentials in creating empowered individuals through Amplifying Voices, brought to you by Smart Speech Learning and Development Center. Thank you so much, early childhood educators from Bicol University College of Education. Thank you to our guests and to the technical team. Thank you so much.